Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Monday night Zoom edition, and Bitcoin mostly sideways, down a little bit over the weekend. Let's go to the chart. I think we're down about 3% last week. You guys seeing my Bitcoin day chart?
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have yet to have that close over 25K. The top of my range is 24.5. We were hanging around there last week, but couldn't hold it. Dropped over the weekend. Well, actually, on Wednesday of last week, and then we're hanging around. We've been bouncing between about 22.5 and 23, 24, around there. So again, stuck in this range and having difficulty breaking through and holding that 24.5, 25,000 area. So that seems to be significant resistance for Bitcoin at this time. And obviously, we're going nowhere until we break through that and charge towards, say, 28 and 30K. On Ethereum, hanging around the middle of this range, maybe towards the upper middle portion. So 1630 at the moment, drop down. We were down, I thought we were going to break 1600 today, but ended up hanging around there and then bouncing back up to where we are now, 1630. So, our short-term range is between about 1500 and 1740. And again, we need some significant push above, say, 1750 before Ethereum can show some real progress. Any comments about or anything to say about the market overall before we move into Altcoin Alert and look for some trades?
Yeah, Bitcoin's really trying to test that upper limit, and I really feel like it's going to break through at some stage.
Yeah, you think so that the pressure would be building in this accumulation area zone, and to break through, we've been between, say, 22. Well, we got down to like 21.5 here. We broke through 20K, over a month ago, and haven't really been able to break over 25 since with any real force, at least enough to sustain it. So, I mean, isn't February usually a difficult month for at-risk assets anyway, including crypto? I'm not sure if we have any stock or commodities people out there, but anyway, that was.
You Americans should know more about that than.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, tangentially related anyway. So if there's nothing on the market overall, thanks for sharing, Craig. We will bounce over to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some trades. Okay, I'm on the Altcoin Alert, Altcoin Radar page. I don't care for the dashboard. I want all the information. So you can sort by any of these columns here. I like to use the first thing I usually go to is the AA score. I'm going to refresh and see if there's anything worth trading. I like DYDX. I traded it yesterday and today with some success. We're very bullish, over 80, the score is over 80, 81.1, which means, according to Altcoin Alert, there's an 81.1% chance that this coin will go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. Let's look at a chart and see if we can get a good entry. So duplicate this. And usually I have this ready ahead of time, but I was on a Zoom before, kind of rushed to get ready for this one. But all right, so my chart is loading on the 5 minutes. Turn off that indicator. And let me get over to DYDX, just on my list. You can make, I think of these as playlists like in music, but this is my main go-to list. I've got a few others, but you can create these these lists of tokens that you like to trade. you click on the plus here and search for it, and then add it to your list. And sometimes I just sort the list. I might sort this list by, what's dropping the most if I'm looking for something to short, because I trade on the derivatives market. Or you can go and see what's hot, what's got a high score, what's this STX I've traded today a couple times, and it's up almost 3%. Since we just passed 5 o'clock Mountain Time, the new day, this coincides with with midnight on Greenwich Mean Time, London time. So it's Tuesday in many parts of the world, and so this just restarted. This is more useful if you're in the U.S. Doing it in the morning. So, all right, a little tangent there, but let me go and sort this alphabetically. And I'm on the DYDX chart, the 5-minute. So we talked before the recording started about the 1, 2, 3 dip. One of our people was new to it, so he was saying how much he liked the strategy. This is the kind of setup we're looking for, ideally. 1, 2, 3. This is where it squeezes together a little bit and then bubbles out. It's not a perfect representation, but then you get that third dip and then the green candle, and this is where you want to get in on the 1, 2, 3 dip, 5-minute chart. Go up to your SMA line, 1.15%. If you pile up, 1, 2% trades, your balance will increase pretty quickly. If you want to go to resistance instead of the SMA line as your exit point or take profit area, we've got resistance right here, right around the 2% area. That's probably where I would have gotten out on this trade. And I would have been in this, an hour and a half, pick up 2%, pile those up all day, good stuff. So, but that was yesterday, so we don't have that set up at the moment. So instead, my screen wants to freeze. Okay, so now we're at the top of the Bollinger Band, not where I want to get in. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can set alerts for a better entry. I'm seeing some support in this area here, right around between 289 and 285. If you want to set an alert for that area, right click, add an alert. 288, you can type in, 289 or 285 or whatever. And then I like to use the information source as the alert name. So this would be AA score. And then I'm good to go. But another area of support's down here around, say, 275, 276. That's another place you could put an alert. But if you're a little more experienced and sophisticated as a trader, you might want to use indicator alerts. I like to do those on the 15-minute chart. So I'm going to head over here to the 15-minute chart. And one of my favorite alerts is the supertrend. And I actually owe you guys a bit of an apology because I gave you some information that wasn't quite accurate. So this supertrend version, the ATR period is 10 by the default. I lowered it to 5 thinking that made it more sensitive. It actually makes it less sensitive. The higher number this is, the more alerts will trigger. I still like the 5 setting on this, but again, if you go to the defaults, you'll see there are more settings. There's also more, more junk. I take a lot of these out. All I want is the buy and the sell. I click all the others off. So I'm going to cancel that and it'll go back to the way I had it. There's also another super trend that I was tinkering with today. Here's where you download this one by Everget. And this one has a 22 ATR period. So that's a bit busy for me. I don't want to trade that often. So get rid of that one if I can. Yeah, there we go. So that one's gone. I'm going to stick with the 5 for now, but you guys might want to tinker with that ATR period, depending on how often you want to trade. And obviously, the higher the ATR period, the more signals there are, the riskier it can be. But on the 15-minute chart, these are looking pretty good. At least on the buy side, which is what we're looking for. If you're trading spot, which is where everybody knew should start, just make spot trades. You can trade DYDX on Coinbase, I believe. So, this buy signal fires off. Got the stochastic RSI I like to use for confirmation. It's crossing up, but this impulse MACD I've been using for confirmation as well is trending down at the moment. So I don't know if I would have taken that buy. Might have waited till it crossed back up. But had I done that, it would have gone against me. So not sure. This buy signal is pretty good. It's crossing the SMA line on the 15-minute chart. It's crossing on the stochastic, and it's crossing big. There's a big difference on the MACD here between the blue line, which is the MACD line, and the orange line, which is the signal line. And it's trending up here on Instagram. So this is a better looking entry, and obviously it did really well. So, and I like this super trend because it's easy to set alerts on it. Right click on the alert. You can go that route, or you can just go over here to these 3 dots, and it'll let you do an alert. If you're trading spot, you're going to use the buy. If you want to short this on leverage, you use sell. What I do most of the time is super trend direction change, and that'll give me long and short signals throughout the day. Once per bar close, I like that setting. That keeps the indicator alert active until I turn it off. Plus, you don't get repainting. If you use one of these other settings, the sell signal or the buy signal might flicker while the candle is in play, and then go away. It's what we call it's not really repainting, but well, maybe it is. I don't know what they call that. Anyway, the alert name, and that's going to be our AA score. At least that's how I do it. And then be good to go on DYDX on that approach.
CJ, can you tell me what version of the super trend is that you're using?
I am using this one, the first one listed here. And really the only difference that I really noticed is this is a 10 ATR, and then the one by Everget's a 22 or something like that ATR. So it doesn't really matter which one you use.
Yep. Okay.
And you have to choose your ATR period, which is something true range.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the super trend. If you're a contrarian, like I like to be sometimes, and you want to try to catch a dip or get ahead of the direction change, I like divergence for that purpose. And I use this divergence for many indicators, version 4. So it's going to have the RSI, the MACD, and like OBV, which is unbalanced volume, I believe, histogram, commodity change. There's 8 or 9 different indicators it'll show you divergence for. And divergence is simply a disagreement between the price action and the indicator. So you have bearish divergence. So I don't always remember these. You have bullish divergence when the candle action's down, but the indicator's going up. So maybe it's the other way around. But regardless, as you can see, it does have some predictive value. It's not perfect, but the bullish divergences look pretty good here on DYDX, to the point where I might want to set one. Yeah, and here's how you set the alerts on divergence. You choose which direction you want to go. I'm going to go with positive divergence, once per bar close, and this is going to be my AA score. And then I am good to go. The only confirmation, well, you just saw that it was showing negative divergence, and then it went away because the candle hasn't closed yet. Plus this one does repaint, which means as it gets more information, it might change. So that's why I like to match it up with this other one here that does not repaint. Multiple divergences, non-repaint by Peter O. So on your indicator list, search divergence. And this is the one this is the one I put the alert on, and this is the one I use for confirmation. So these won't help you on confirmation because these are trend based, and divergence by definition is trying to get ahead of the trend. All these look pretty good. The short one did well. You know, if you're shorting, you're probably on leverage 5 or 10x. So yeah, that one did 2x or 2% there. This one did, you know, 1.3% there. So those all did pretty well. And the bullish ones, you know, did okay as well. 1.3 if you stay in longer. You know, maybe you get out here at 2.5 in 6 hours. It's a good day trade. All right, so that's divergence. And then finally, another place I like to set alerts is a stochastic RSI. And what I like to do on the long side is have something drop below this 20 value, which is considered oversold, and then start to come back up. So it's sort of a dip and a trend combined. So we will look at the charts to see how these have done in the recent past. I'm going to use a vertical line to show you guys where we have those crosses. We have a cross here, goes mostly sideways, and then finally is in profit. You know, you probably would have gotten in about here. You know, there's 1.4% there. And then, you know, 1.8, not bad. And then if you catch this, you're in for 6%, though that takes over a day. You can hold that one overnight, which is a little risky. And that's another entry there. Again, mostly goes sideways before it goes up. Yeah, that's what pretty much all of them look like on the RSI. This would have been the best entry here at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So yeah, you would have been in profit. Makes a little dip, and then you're here at 3% at 3 hours. I love trades like that. And the rest of them, you know, that's another entry. And then they mostly dip down before they bounce back up again. So if you want to use the RSI alert, right click on that, stochastic RSI. K line is the blue line. The D line is the orange line. We're going to be crossing up. 20 is generally considered the oversold area, once per bar close, and AA score purchase, and create, and then you are good to go for stochastic RSI alert. I was tinkering with a strategy involving this impulse MACD last week. It didn't do very well over about a 3-day period. And so I don't know if I'm going to get back to that or scrap it, but I know a couple of you guys were interested. I think Oliver, if you're on here, you were, I know you're on here. But we'll see if there's something else I can do. So for now, I'm going to leave it on my chart for confirmation and use it in that way. So it certainly still has value. All right, guys, any questions about the DYDX chart or some of the approaches I talked about?
Regarding impulse MACD, CJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you go through the exercise where you wanted to filter out the minor breakouts and only trade on the big breakouts? Have you
I did it both
drawn
ways.
those lines?
Yeah, I did once with the with just the crosses, the the blue line crossing the orange line. And then I had a couple where I don't want to go into the whole strategy, but where I was putting
Yeah,
lines,
you can watch
you
it on
know,
YouTube.
yeah, I put lines here and I tried the breakout and I tried to, you know, the crosses before that. And, you know, I had more losses than wins. And I did have one really good win, but the losses outdid it. But again, I probably didn't use it long enough to, I have a
So
short attention
you're
span, which is one of my own problems as a trader, is that when I look at a new strategy, I only give it probably 10 to 20 trades to work. And if it doesn't do what I like, I tend to scrap it and try to find something else. So, but
what
what
I
I'm
do
talking,
when you those lines, you have to do that for every coin.
yep, I did.
Yeah.
I had 4 coins. We'll talk a little bit later about buddy coins. I
Yeah.
usually choose 3 or 4 every day, and I did that setup for each one of them. All right. Thanks for chiming in, and let's look at another one on Altcoin Alert. All right, so we did the AA score sort, FXS. I think we looked at that one a week or 2 ago. We'll go through this one. I'm going to go through the rest of these more quickly. So if I'm going too fast, I will upload this and you can rewatch it and go over these you know, these strategies at a slower pace. FXS. It looks like it's on Binance and KuCoin. I do like KuCoin for trading a spot, though I don't do much spot trading anymore, but this is a good place to find some of these you know, lower volume coins. I'll go ahead and click on the Binance chart for now. Go to the 5-minute, see if we can get in something now. Had a nice move up a little while ago, earlier this morning. Looks like it moved up, yeah, 10%, then kind of ranging since then. The Bollinger Bands are pushing together into a squeeze-like formation, so we don't have a dip sequence at the moment. Regarding alerts on support, I like this area here, around 1075, 1078. That would be a good place for an alert for a dip, and again down here around, say, between 1020 and 1025. Okay, on our 15-minute chart indicators, super trend has done pretty well. I don't know if this is something that can be shorted though, so is this on my list? No. So the buys look good on the super trend. Like this one here, has a strong move in the stochastic RSI and a nice move on the MACD, on the impulse MACD. So, you know, that would have been 2.4%. Nice move there on a spot trade or leverage. The sell was a good move down. This one, not as good. This buy, really good. So the super trend worked pretty well in the recent history on this one. On divergence, this bullish divergence from Saturday afternoon did really well. 5%. You know, this one from Sunday, wee hours of the morning, at least for me, 3%, pretty good. And these, you would have gone to draw down about 2% before getting a really nice move up. So divergence did pretty well as well. And then our stochastic RSI, got a cross here that did really well. Another one here that went gradually up. And then that one didn't quite cross below the 20. This one did. went up pretty well, then sideways and up again. So all the stochastic RSIs did well on this one. So I think any of the approaches in the recent history of FXS would have worked nicely. We'll see if it holds this, goes sideways, and then shoots up again. Okay, any questions on FXS? Look at one more with Altcoin Alert before we head over to iCoinPro. There are other sorts one can do. I like the long-term sentiment sort. Sentiment is what people are talking about on Twitter. The long terms for the daily, short terms like an hourly. I'm a day trader, not an hourly trader, so I like this one a little bit better than the short term. I find it to be a bit more reliable. So I can click on this and sort by it. And I'm looking for values on bullish or very bullish on the sentiment. And I'm going to match that up with this Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator. You can hover over these question marks to see what they do exactly. When I see a match, that's something I want to look at in more detail. XEM is the first one listed, but it's up 38%. That's a big move. This is an older project, I believe. So it's kind of curious why this shot up. There might be an explanation for it. Maybe it has a new partnership, or maybe some whales just decided to jump on it. That's not my list. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, this just had a random pump. Is there any news on this? No. Wow. Over 70% in less than 2 hours. So this is a little dangerous to trade when we've missed that kind of move. Yeah, we don't have a good setup at all on the 5-minute chart. There's some support here, just under 6 cents. And most of the time it's been trading down here around, 4.3 cents. Let's go over here to the 15-minute. Super trend. You get a big move like this that distorts these prior candle movements, so you kind of have to scoot over and get a better picture of what they were like. Mostly sideways. Yeah, not much really happened here. I mean, these buys just went up like 1%, usually all day until we had this giant move. I don't know if it's real useful to look at a chart when you have a big move like this. Sometimes there's some value in going to a larger time frame, but again, with a giant move like that, even that's not very useful. So I think I'm going to scrap this one. If you want to take a chance on it, looks like the big move's already happened. It's been trending down. Could be a short. We haven't talked about the short of the day. If I'm looking for a short on something like this, I'm curious what divergence is going to show us. Yeah, this short.
That could be one of the coins that just goes up and stays up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough to base anything on.
This divergence did okay. The bearish, this one got crushed. You'd have been liquidated on this one probably if you didn't have a stop loss. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't really have a good answer for this. Maybe catch a trend on the stochastic RSI might be the way to go. Wait till this drops. I mean, it dropped. I mean, obviously shot up here. It broke through here briefly. That would have been a real fake out. And then it went up here. This actually looks like a pretty good move. Yeah, 6%. So I think stochastics might be the way to go because it caught this move here. It was ahead of that. And it was ahead of this one. It caught all the good moves. So Again, quick refresher on this. Crossing up on 20. That's going to be my long-term sentiment. That's the first one that's listed here on TradingView. It's the one I use the most. So I'm going to throw that one in there. Create one while I'm here. All right, well, that was pretty quick, but any questions on XEM or Altcoin Alert before I move over to iCoinPro? Okay. iCoinPro. The home of the 1-2-3 dip. Most of you guys have seen the training on what they provide on this strategy. That is the one I use and the one I like the most, but I also like the trend-based and the divergence I've shown you as well. But I started using iCoinPro's 1-2-3 dip as my main strategy. I like the information sources RSI Spy and Buddy Coin Crawler. I also have a fear index link that I look at usually once a day or two. We're in neutral at the moment. Okay, on the RSI Spy, I'm going to sort by the 1 hour. Now we looked at what it's stochastic RSI values on the 15-minute chart. These are on the 1 hour. If I see a value below 20, or I'm sorry, below 30, then that's something I want to look at closer. We have that with this AION coin. Volume's okay. I think of these, it unfortunately lumps in Bitcoin pairs, which I don't trade very often. But yeah, we do have an AION. I have traded this before. So we'll go ahead and open that. It has that drop-down menu. It'll take you to the 5-minute chart of that coin and the layout that you've used most recently. It's kind of an older project too. And it looks like it's about to go into a dip sequence here. So we've got the squeeze, and we see the bubble forming here on the Bollinger Bands, but it just started. We just got our first dip. So it could be, 15 to 30 minutes before we get what we're looking for here. And we're below the most recent support, so I don't really see a value. I'm not seeing a way to really tell where we would put a price alert other than just sort of guessing. I'm thinking, 0.8 cents might be a good place. By the time it comes down here, it should be into a second or third dip if it's going to go through a dip sequence. Okay, on our indicators, super trend. It's been in a sell for quite a while. Since Saturday afternoon, just falling straight down. Yeah, so that's a bit risky. On divergence, this might be one with the RSI stochastic looks best. Yeah, all these bullish divergences, most of them didn't really do that well. Well, actually, I take that back. That RSI one went up 7%. Yeah, there were some spikes up here that would have been good. That would have worked out pretty well. So yeah, actually, all these divergences were. That's a bit misleading because I see, green divergences, but the trend is down, but it's catching those, those pumps before it drops. You can trade that all day. This one did poorly. Yeah, you'd still be in that. So maybe down 20%. I've been using stop losses on my short positions and then additional purchases or ladder buys on my long ones lately, but I changed that approach depending on the market.
It's consistently bouncing off the SMA as well on the
Yeah.
downtrend.
Yep. So Craig's pointing out that you can use this SMA line, where when you get in is your exit. So if you get in here on this one, that's a bad example, but you may have to anticipate where the SMA is going to be. Yeah. I don't know, maybe just go 4 or 5% on each one till it changes. Okay, and then on stochastic RSI, cross here, nice move up. Cross here, again, catch one of these spikes. Another cross here, catch that spike. Another one here, that's the same one. Here, get that move. So I like the stochastic over the others. If you're going to trade this one up. Okay, well that's I should do one more on iCoinPro. We're at about 40 minutes, so I'll squeeze one more in, and we'll wrap it up. So that was the RSI SPY. The other one I like is the Buddy Coin Crawler. This is off the Buddy coin concept. They use iCoinPro. Choose 3 or 4 coins each day. Follow those throughout the day. Those are your Buddy coins. I'm sorting by the average low to the SMA. So that's the low, the 24-hour low of the coin to the SMA line, which Craig just pointed out. And I'm looking for values usually 4% or higher. So I've got these right here. Stacks is something I've traded in the last couple days. STX, let's go ahead and look at that. And again, we don't really have a dip sequence in place. Haven't really seen one on this in a while. It has been trending up the last couple days. Potential price alert around 87 cents, between say 85 to 87 cents would be a good place to get in the short term, potentially. On the 15-minute, let's look at our indicators. Super trend has been pretty good on the long side. This one here would have gone up, 5%. This one did really well, and this one we don't know yet. The sells not as good, but not bad. That one's picked up 3%. This one about 1.5. That one, I don't know. I probably would have been stopped out on that one. So super trend looking good on the bullish side, not so good on the bearish side. Divergence. The longs did really well. This one we don't know yet. Yeah, actually they all did. All the bullish divergences did well. So that would be one to put an alert on. And the RSIs. Good move there. Yeah, 6% in 12 hours. That's a really good day trade. And that one here would have been a better entry. Same setup. Not sure if that should have triggered. Again, same setup. This one, a dip first and then a big move. Better entry there. And it'll fake out on this one. You'd probably still be in it. So, all right. That is about all I have for iCoinPro. Any questions on the iCoinPro coins we've looked at, any of the trade setups or day trading in general? Okay, then I will wrap it up.
CJ,
Unless
CJ,
Craig has
and
something.
yeah, I was just waiting to see if someone else said something else before I jumped in. The other day we were talking about in another call, the screener. And
Yes,
I know nothing about it and would like to know a little that might be appropriate here at some stage.
that is a great question. I went to revisit that probably about an hour and a half ago before the last Zoom. And I didn't get to it. I got distracted, and it's something I haven't used in a couple of years. So I would want to look at it and use it before I talked about it. But if I forget, message me, or I mean, you and I have our thing on Thursday. That would be a good time to talk about it, and then bring it up again on Friday Zoom. But that's a good suggestion. I think I'll make a note of that. Check the screener. What Craig's talking about is that TradingView has, I mean, we've looked at Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro. TradingView has some screening functions as well, especially for, what percentages coins have moved up in a certain period of time. So if you don't want to, pay for, information sources like that and just want to keep it with TradingView, you can do that. But it's been a long time since I've used those, so I want to reacquaint myself with them before I talk about them on a recorded Zoom. So anyway, good suggestion though. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? All right. Well, I will stop the recording here. If you're watching this on the recording, thanks for doing that. Please check out the information and the opportunities listed in the pinned comment. They help support the channel. If you're a Carbon member, please stick around. We'll start that Zoom in a few minutes. Thanks.